Hey friend, welcome to my channel, and today I'll be showing you guys how to make the perfect red beans and rice. This video is very detailed. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. All right, friend, this is the beans that we're going to be using. Some red kidney beans. We're going to be using 1 cup of that, okay? And we're going to go ahead. We're going to put that in a pot and we're going to sort through them to make sure there's no rock particles, to make sure there's no beans that look a little raunchy, make sure there's no beans that you just don't want in your food in there, just to make sure that you know everything is good with the beans, okay? And then we're going to go ahead. We're going to wash the beans. Once we find there's nothing there, or if we find anything, we remove it. We're going to wash the beans with lukewarm water. And I'm going to give them 2 washes. And please don't come over here and try to come for me and my nails. My nails are clean, baby. One thing about me, I'm very clean. My nails is clean. Before I even started this, I washed and scrubbed my hands. And remember, I'm showing you how to make this. I'm not making it for you. So don't come for me. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to wash the beans thoroughly. You see how I'm scrubbing them with my hands? Like I'm scrubbing them like underneath my hand, like to make sure all the dirt come out. That's what we're going to do. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to put 17 cups of water into that pot. You could put more if you want to, but I just want it to be exact, so I'll let you know the exact amount of water that I added, okay? So we're going to put 17 cups of water into our pot. Then we're going to put our pot on the stove at high heat, 9-8. We're going to add 2 garlic cloves. We're going to add 1 green onion chopped up, and we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. We're going to cover that up and we're going to let it cook. You let it cook for an hour and 30 minutes, okay? This is how it looks after an hour of cooking. We went ahead and we checked on it. And friend, just by looking at the face of them beans, I could tell them beans wasn't cooked, child. Like them Haitians say, got figil di. That mean look at his face. His face is hard, okay? And you see how hard the bean was? You see it's not cooked. It's not cooked. That mean you got to let the beans cook a little bit longer. They not cooked. So let them cook for a little bit more, like 30 more minutes. And I went ahead and I added 5 more cups of water because it needs more water to cook, okay? You don't want the beans to burn. And then we're going to go ahead, cover it and let it cook. And then this is how it looks when it's done cooking. I did turn it off and it's been sitting for a little bit because I had to run to the store right quick, but this is how it looks when it's done cooking. This time we're going to take the beans, we're going to squish it, and look at the difference. Do you see how you just smush right into it? That's how you want it to be. This is how you know your beans are cooked, and you could go ahead and move on to the next step. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to strain the beans. Do not dispose of that water. We're going to need that later. Okay? All right, now we're going to make some epis. I'm not going to be very detailed on making epis because I have a whole video dedicated to epis. So I'm just going to show you how to make a little bit of it if you need to make it because you need it for this recipe. You can learn what it's all about in a video that's dedicated to epis if you're that interested, okay? If you for real and you about that life, okay? All right, I have the link for you in the description box below. So as you can see, I'm going to use some bell peppers. I'm going to use garlic cloves. I'm going to use some 1 cut up green onion. I'm gonna use some parsley. I have 1 bonnet pepper. You could cut your bonnet pepper in half depending on how spicy it is, or you don't have to use it at all, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use 1 cube of chicken flavored Maggie, chicken flavored bouillon, which is Maggie, and I'm gonna use 1 Sazon. Put all that into your blender, add 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and you're gonna mix that up, and boom, you have epis. Just know you're gonna need it to make the rice. It's gonna give the rice some flavor. It's gonna make it taste good. It's like sofrito. It's like green seasoning if you're Jamaican. This, you're gonna need it for your rice. You need this for rice, okay? Boom. So now that I showed you how to make the seasoning, we're going to go ahead. We're going to put it in a container. Make sure the container have a lid where it can go into the refrigerator because you don't want to put that in your refrigerator uncovered, okay? All right. All right. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to get our pot. We're going to put it on the stove at medium-high heat, 6-7. Then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil and 2 tablespoons of that epis seasoning we just made. You're going to mix that all together. Let that epis cook in that oil for 2 to 3 minutes. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to add the beans that we cooked. We're going to add the beans. We're going to mix the beans. Let the beans cook in that epis and in that oil for about 1 to 2 minutes as well. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to start giving this food some flavor, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is add some Maggie chicken flavored bouillon. This is how it look. Make sure your box is hard and crumbly at the bottom like mine, okay? Then you're going to go ahead. You're going to add 1 cube of that into there. Then after you add that, you're going to go ahead. You're going to add some salt. I added 2 teaspoons of salt. Here you see me adding one. You'll see me add the other later on. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of adobo, and that's all we need. We're going to go ahead. We're going to mix all that together because remember, your Epis got some seasoning in it too. So just chill out, believe me, okay? All right, then you're going to go ahead, you're going to mix it all together. Let that cook for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. Then you're going to go ahead, you're going to get some thyme and parsley that's tied together. Put it in there and put 1 bonnet pepper in there. Mix that all together as well and let it cook for approximately 1 minute. Once that is done cooking, you're going to go ahead and you're going to add some coconut milk. This is what's going to make your food taste really good. You're going to taste the coconut flavor in the rice, and you're gonna have that good tasting Caribbean rice. Okay, go ahead. This is the coconut milk that I use. I use Goya. You could use any brand you so desire. Make sure it's coconut milk, and just make sure it's not the sweet coconut milk that you use to make juice with. Okay, you gonna be mad because you're gonna have some sweet rice and you don't want that business. Okay, all right, then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna let that cook. I know it look a little crazy right now. You're like, oh, Freddie, this look a little raunchy, but friend, it's gonna come through. Trust the process. Okay, this is it cooking. You see how it already changing up because that milk is cooking. Okay, it's cooking because this is coconut milk and it's cooking, so it's gonna start to look real good. And when you taste it right here, it should taste good. It should taste real good right here. Okay, but now we're gonna go ahead, we're going to add some water. This is the water that we use to boil the beans in. Okay, and we went ahead and we added 5 cups of water, and you want to use that water because that's what's going to give your rice that beautiful red color. If you use regular water, it's gonna look really weird because your red beans and rice, your rice ain't gonna be red. It's gonna look weird, so you have to use that water. Next, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna wash our rice. I'm using Madame Gougouss jasmine rice. You could use any kind of jasmine rice you want. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wash my rice. Once my water start boiling, that's when I'm going to wash my rice, because when my water start boiling, my pot is ready for me to add the rice. Do not wash the rice beforehand. Do not wash it and think, oh, I'm going to just wash the rice right now and go sit down and watch TV. So when it's ready, I could just put it in there. Friend, you're going to be mad because you're going to have mushy rice, because as that water is sitting in that, as that rice is sitting in that water, it's going to absorb it. It's going to absorb some of it. So you're going to mess it up. Don't do that. Wait until it is boiling. That's when you wash the water. Give it 2 to 3 rinse, and then you're going to go ahead and put it in there. Don't wait till it run clear thinking you're going to keep washing it till it run clear, because it's always going, the water always going to be a little bit of white. So just wash it 2 to 3 times, friend. Okay, then you're going to go ahead, you're going to pick it up with your hand like you see me doing, and then you're going to put it in a pot. And you're going to put it all in the same spot. Do not just take the whole thing and just pour it in the rice trying to be lazy, because now you're adding all that excess water and you don't want that business, because then your rice is going to be mushy, and then because you added more water. Just listen, friend, I'm trying to tell you. Okay, make sure you do it like me. You see how I'm picking up the rice, I'm letting that water drop down through my fingers, I'm shaking my fingers so some of that excess water could fall off, and we're going to add it all to one spot in that pot, so that this way, if the rice comes on top, it forms a mountain like you see it forming right here, and it's on top of the rice like you see it right here. That means that we have enough rice to satisfy the amount of water that we have. That means we will not get mushy, squishy, nasty rice. Okay, all right, so then we're gonna mix it all together. We're gonna mix it all together, and you can always taste it to see if it needs more salt. This is the time, because whatever that water tastes like, that's what your rice gonna taste like. So if you see you need more salt, this is the time to add it. Okay, and that's when I'm gonna add the extra teaspoon of rice that I told you that I added, the 1 teaspoon, because remember I told you I added 2 and I was going to add 1 later. So this is the later that I was talking about, friend. Okay, all right, then we're just going to go ahead, I'm going to mix all that into there, and everything was good by now. All the flavors is good. You ready to go. You're going to let this cook for approximately 4 to 5 minutes. At this point, friend, don't even leave the kitchen. Just stay right here, okay? And when you're scraping the rice, friend, make sure you're scraping at the bottom. Like you're scraping the pan, okay? Not just the top. You scraping the bottom. That's how you always want to stir your rice. Even when the beans was in there, we're stirring at the bottom, okay? And when it looks like this, you see how all the water is almost gone, but it still got a little bit of water, you see how it look like that? That's when you turn the heat down. We no longer want it at a 6 or 7. We're going to put it at low heat, 2 or 3. I always put 3, but you could do 2 or 3. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to add some butter. I wanted to use that butter because I see my people use it. I wanted to see what it do, but you could use any type of butter you so desire. Just make sure it's salted. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to cover it with aluminum foil, and we're going to go ahead. We're going to cover it with the lid, and we're going to let that rice cook undisturbed for 30 to 45 minutes. You got to touffe the rice. That's how you say it in Creole. Touffe means suffocate. So you got to suffocate the rice. You got to put your foot on the neck of the rice so that the heat can cook the rice, okay? Do not, undisturbed. Do not mess with it. Let it cook for 30 minutes straight. Don't go check. Leave it. After 30 minutes, you can uncover it. And baby, you're going to look just like this. And you're going to have the perfection. Did I mention it was perfect? Red beans and rice. I'm trying to tell you, friend. I'm trying to tell you it don't get no better than that. You can taste the coconut milk. You can taste the flavor. Everything is just perfect about this rice, friend. I'm trying to tell you. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. Until next time.